Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how I drew the story of the beggar and the brothers Ba, Ta and Tha. This is the second lesson in my Arabic letter form drawing unit. I'll also include the story and the link to the previous lesson in the description box. So let's get into it. I start off by rubbing off my Prince Aleph chalk drawing. I grab my Monyo pastels. This is the 64 pack. And I grab the long, thin, white pastel that they have in there. I begin by doing the sections, by dividing the sections into 4. One being for the landscape of the story, where the story takes place, and the other 3 being the 3 letters that are Ba, Ta, and Tha. I start by doing the outlines of the 3 brothers' houses. In my mind, I wasn't thinking of the houses being this type of shape. For a quick chalk drawing, I think it will do. So I drew the path that was leading to the houses, leading the beggar to the houses, and then I'm just drawing some hills. I add some bushes here, but I end up undoing those because I didn't like the way they look. They just weren't really necessary. And now I'm just drawing the old, poor beggar that's heading towards Ba's house first. And now I'm starting with Ba, and this is Ba's hand, and he's holding his bowl. I'm just drawing his closed fist that is under holding the date. Hands are not the hardest thing to draw, but sometimes from memory, proportions of the fingers and things just don't look realistic. I draw on a bigger scale, a larger scale, Ta's hands and his bowl. As you can see, I'm gradually, with each brother and with each letter, getting bigger. And here I was having difficulties with Ta's second hand, which is supposed to be saying no. And I just forgot how fingers would be positioned. So I did a lot of rubbing off here, but I think it ended up looking realistic enough. And then my poor chalk ended up snapping. So I drew some lines to emphasize that the hand is moving, saying no. So only until this video that I realized how both pair of hands are completely different scale. This is just meant to be a very quick chalk drawing. I'm not going to be too picky about it. And then I'm moving on to Tha's hands. You can see that clearly the 2 hands are way different in proportion. One thumb is gigantic compared to the other. Then I'm just drawing the dates, the Tamars. I wasn't happy with how with the spaces I allocated, so I'm just rubbing them off and just changing it up a bit. So now I'm going to start with the filling in with color. So I do Ba's house first in yellow, and then I do the section that is of Ba and Ba's hands. I'm just drawing in the same color as his house so that we know that that's who, there's an association with who lives to that house and what he did in the story, if that makes sense. And then I do Ta's house in orange, and so his background in his section is orange. And finally I do Tha's house in red, and I do Tha's section in red as well. I'm just doing the grass now. I use a different green in the background than I did in the foreground, just to give it some perspective. I'm just using gray for the path. Ideally, I should have used brown to make it kind of like a dirt path. Doing the doors. And now I'm going to fill in the skin color. I'm using a kind of pinky beige color for the skin, but it just ends up looking a bit gray. Just coloring in the dates. Try to put a bit of dates in Ba's closed fist, a bit of brown showing through his fingers, but it didn't end up being noticeable. I grab a light brown for the beggar's ripped clothes, And then I just draw his staff or his stick in brown. And now I'm just going to do the sky. I ended up blending it in and adding some black outline off camera, and this is how it looked like. So there's Baab with his closed fist, and this is Ta saying, no, I don't want to share my 2 dates with you. And then we have generous Tha, who is offering the beggar all his dates on behalf of himself and his brothers. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching.